according to my analytics, some of my viewers are German. So I guess that means I have to start speaking German. Willkommen bei Teil 30 von Lass uns Ocarina of Time spielen. In diesem Teil mögen wir in die Entgegnerkammer. Der Entgegner vom Feuertempel ist aber auch denkwürdig. Und die Kampfmusik ist so gut, dass sie in Twilight Princess zurückkommt. Okay, in all seriousness, this is the Mississippi King welcoming y'all back to more Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And in the last episode, we got through a huge chunk of the dungeon, and in this episode, we're probably gonna finish this dungeon and we'll make it to the boss. And yeah, the boss is really awesome. I mean, the boss is just epic, and the music is for the boss fight is so good that it reappears in Twilight Princess. It's that good. But yeah, I think the boss music for this boss is really epic, and I just love the fight, even though it kinda boils down to basically whack-a-mole. I mean, despite that, it's still pretty cool, I must say. And I don't know if I'd say it's the best fight in the game, because believe me, this game has no shortage of amazing fights, but it is still up there. It's just real good. And well, now that we got in here, this place, you gotta hit the... You gotta use the hammer to hit some switches now that we have it. You've probably seen a lot of them, but yeah, you want to find them and hit them because it'll open the path forward. And that's gonna help a lot. Also in this video, we're going to get the last Gold Skulltulas in this temple, because, you know, I am still going for all 100 Gold Skulltulas, and I don't want to miss any. But yeah, I can't wait for the boss, because it's just awesome. But, yeah, the Megaton Hammer is a decent weapon, but mostly you're going to be using it to hit various switches. Unfortunately, it's kind of disappointing because it's a little contextual, like, it's a little too reliant on, like, specific contexts to be used than generally. But, I mean, that's also why I took on the Water Temple first. I just find the long shot to be better than the Megaton Hammer. However, there is an upgrade we can get with the Megaton Hammer that some would argue makes going to the Fire Temple worth it over going to the Water Temple first. Really depends on what you value. I mean, I'll go into that more when we actually get to that part, but suffice it to say, it's kind of important. It's a pretty good upgrade, and I could understand why one would argue that it's worth it to go to the Fire Temple first. It's just, I don't really agree. And, with regards to the other two temples, like, basically how this structure works is that for the temple choice, like the choice for which temple to tackle first, it's sort of like split between, like, you have the option of choosing two temples after the Forest Temple, that is. You get the ability to choose the Fire Temple or the Water Temple, and then after that you get to choose the Spirit Temple or the Shadow Temple. And at first I thought you had to tackle the Shadow Temple first. I think so. Yeah. You see, I thought you had to tackle the Shadow Temple first, initially, but I found out that I was in fact quite wrong about that. Because, well, actually, maybe you do. Now I'm just confused, so don't pay attention to me. And, unfortunately the Megaton Hammer doesn't work as, like, a particularly great weapon, and that's, kinda disappointing. That's one of the things I like about, Twilight Princess, is that, the items are really great. A lot of them have multiple uses that aren't particularly context sensitive, for lack of a better word. But, they are still things that, like, are used a lot. And I'd actually argue that Twilight Princess has the best arsenal of weapons and items since A Link to the Past, and that is saying something. Which is not to say this game has bad items, it's just, compared to, like, A Link to the Past or Twilight Princess for that matter, I just don't think it holds up as so well. But it's still pretty great. We're going to be looking for all of them Skulltulas. I know where to look, more or less. But, with regards to the boss, now that we have the thing destroyed, well, the pillar knocked down, and the path to the boss chamber is open, we can now find our way to whatever it was, the boss chamber. We can access it now. And now that we can access it, we need the boss key in order to do that, and that means there's still some more stuff left to do in this part. So, yeah, we can do that. It's a good idea, folks. Admittedly, the Fire Temple is a good temple, but in terms of the ones I enjoy, I'd say it's not my favorite, but it is still good.
Es krabbelt hier an der Wand noch eine goldene Skulltula. Sie näher mir ich und werde mit einem Zwischengegner kämpfen. Was er heißt, weiß ich nicht. Doch stirbt er aber ganz einfach. Er ist voll lächerlich.
He's really easy. Wait, I mean, in English, basically, that means that it was one more Gold Skulltula on the wall. And I'ma fight this guy. He's the last mid-boss of this dungeon. And, well, he dies pretty easily. It's pretty laughable. And, the last Gold Skulltula, I think that we have yet to find it. So, yeah, I believe there's one more, but that should be close to the last one. But anyway, this guy should go down pretty easily. I mean, he is no match for the Megaton Hammer, which, actually, I'm not sure how much more damage this does relative to the Master Sword. I have no idea. Someone should measure that. Maybe I should. But, yeah, he goes down ridiculously easy.
Das war ein Zwischengegner. Das war total einfach. Die Tür geht so auf, aber nehmen wir der Truhe. Ich kann's nicht glauben, dass der Kampf schon vorbei ist. Die Truhe enthält ein paar Bomben Sie ist voll nutzlos, ich hab nämlich schon Bomben.
Well, whatever. He just goes down ridiculously easy, and I think this is the last Goron that we can free. And, well, here's the boss key. And with that, we're close to done with the end of the dungeon. But I'm gonna have a look around and find that their last Skulltula. Now that we've done all that, we should be able to find the last Gold Skulltula wherever it is. And it should be in this door, well, the one that's coming up, and it should, I think... Well, okay, screw that. Turns out I was mistaken. Turns out we actually did get all of the Gold Skulltulas of this dungeon. I checked, and went an embarrassingly long way before I figured, maybe check your friggin' map! And you'll find out. But, yeah, embarrassments aside, this is the boss. And just look at the way the boss is introduced. The ground shakes, the path behind you sinks, and out comes the boss. This is the boss.
Subterranean lava dragon obey you.
This is the boss. And if that's not an epic introduction to a boss, I don't know what is. But yeah, you're supposed to use the Megaton Hammer to smash it, like use it against its head. Willkommen in die Kammer rein, aber wir gehen unrein raus. I am so sorry for that pun. That is just... That is... inexcusable. The actual... Wait, what am I saying? Y'all probably don't understand that pun. It was in German. But nevertheless, I assure y'all, it was a terrible pun. But, yeah. This boss is... it can be quite a challenge. I mean, luckily I have a fairy. But I swear... I think I have actually died to this boss a number of times, or at least once or twice, and I mean, we're doing pretty good so far in this file. I mean, only like 2 deaths so far, and my original file, like, I know I done said this, but I had like 80 deaths. 80 deaths! And it's like, I could have sworn I wasn't that bad at it. But, yeah. Apparently I died 80 times. But, yeah, this boss fight is epic, and the music is so good that they reused it for Twilight Princess. I mean, that's just a testament to how great it is. And I feel I should mention that the fairies are horribly broken in this game. They heal they heal you to like 15 hearts when you have like 0 health. That is just broken, and it's like, why would you choose a red potion or a blue potion if that you can just use a fairy and heal that much? Of course, later in the game, maybe you do want a blue potion, but nevertheless, that just, the fairy is just too, it's unbalanced is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I don't like how it's unbalanced. It's just, and that's one thing I like about the future Zelda games that I think they do better than Ocarina of Time, is that they fix that issue with them. It's much better in the future Zelda games, and that is something that is desperately desired. That is much appreciated, I should say. But yeah. I like it doesn't heal as much in the future Zelda games. I think in Skyward Sword it only heals like 6 hearts. Could be slightly off on that, but nevertheless, like, you start off with 6 hearts in Skyward Sword, so it's like, it's much more balanced, and I'll say what you will about Skyward Sword. One thing that I don't fault it for is, like, the way that the items are balanced. There's actually, like, more of an incentive to carry with you a variety of items, unlike in, like, Ocarina of Time, when most of the time you just sort of carry around the same few items all over the place. It's not as interesting in that regard. One thing you want to watch out for in this boss fight is that Volvagia can do a lot of damage. Like, seriously, this may be a game of whack-a-mole, but do not underestimate this boss, because it is tough, and, like, it can shave off, like, 3 hearts per hit. Like, look at that! I just... That, like, okay, maybe 2 hearts per hit, but nevertheless, that's a lot of damage. I mean, I think we can beat him, though. And once we do, then, well, then thank goodness I won't die again and have to, like, edit this video, because it's already kind of been a bit annoying to edit. Well, I mean, it's not too bad. Well, okay, it is, but nevertheless, it's a good thing we didn't die to that fight, because, my goodness, can you imagine what that would be like? Also, one thing I should mention is that we're now down to 3 more heart containers left. Like, 4 heart pieces remain, and with that, there are also 2 more dungeons. So, yeah, we're actually making some pretty decent progress. You may think we're coming up at the end of the game, but no, there's still a decent chunk left. Still need to hunt for some of them Skulltulas. But yeah, now the cloud over Death Mountain has disappeared. And once again, we're now back at the Chamber of Sages to meet up with the Sage of Fire, who turns out to be... drumroll please, Darunia.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate what you did. And I thank you on behalf of the entire Goron race. You turned out to be a real man, just as I thought you would. By the way, the wild Darunia, turned out to be the great Sage of Fire. Isn't that funny, brother? Well, this must be what they call destiny. Nothing has made me happier than helping you seal the evil here. Hey, brother, take this. This is a medallion that contains the power of the fire spirits and my friendship.
And as such, he gives us the Medallion of Fire. It's kind of a shame that the medallions don't actually give you any new abilities. That's kind of lame, but nevertheless, I'd still like to see these scenes. They're pretty cool, I must say.
Don't forget, now you and I are true brothers.
And with that, we have completed the Fire Temple 100%, and, well, it's been a pretty sizable video, so I'd say that's about it for this part. So see y'all next time when we explore new passages and see what we can do with the Megaton Hammer now that we have it. This is the Mississippi King signing out.